The next item, or the next person on my list will be Mike. And then I'm going to go to the overflow room.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Are we voting on the call for the vote?
Oh,
This goes to the attorneys that are back there. Perhaps they can answer this for me. Can you please tell me what was the total cost of the settlement of this lawsuit? I've heard numbers range from $9 million up to $15 million. Can you please provide me with some clarification on that? It is, because it goes, he said they were here to answer any and all questions.
Excuse me, which question, which lawsuit?
I didn't call him on a privilege question. I just called on him generally. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. My question was, can you please tell us what the lawsuit settled for, the latest lawsuit that was in Chicago that was filed? There were several entities that were involved in that, including Blocker, AFGC, and GBRE. And I've heard numbers because I had stopped and spoke to Attorney James Bittdorf, Assistant Chief Counsel, and I believe it was back in, I want to say April or May, and I had asked for a copy and to find out how much that lawsuit settled for. I couldn't get a number at that particular juncture because it was under confidential settlement agreement. So I'm looking at that and saying, now perhaps you guys can answer that for us.
Sure.
Here.
This is these attorneys represent us on the City of Green Bay City of Green Bay lawsuit, which is a different lawsuit. However, the lawsuit that you are talking about is under confidentiality. It was a business decision, though. That lawsuit originated at $400 million through ACF.
Right.
That's where some of the quotes came from Mr. Cornelius's presentation. That has been settled, and actually the tribe and Oneida Seven Generations Corporation were dismissed based on sovereign immunity.
So it didn't cost us anything.
I'm not saying it didn't cost us anything. The cost of the settlement was less than what it cost to continue on the litigation. So what the folks in Chicago were doing, were trying to hit our pocketbooks. And we made a business decision. I made a business decision at that particular time that it was less to settle than to continue on paying attorneys down in Chicago. We had already been dismissed. Seven Gens has been dismissed. The tribe had been dismissed.
Right.
Those were the ones I was worried about. I'm not worried about anything else besides those two.
Well, I guess I asked that question, and I brought that up in particular because last November, when there was this litigation update, Melinda sat up there and told us that GTC would be apprised of any types of settlement agreements, including this one. And so now we're being told that it was a confidential settlement agreement. So I look at that and say it's two conflicting things. Either GTC knows or we don't know. And if we don't know, that raises some serious doubts and suspicions in my mind, as well as probably everybody here.
Mike, can I respond?
Sure.
You know, at one point in time, things were confidential because they were being negotiated.
Right.
And so you don't disclose your negotiation items until the negotiation is complete. The negotiations are complete, the lawsuits are complete. Now the information is public.
Right.
To the point that we didn't agree to keep something such as the settlement amount for negotiations. If it's written that we would keep that confidential, then it's written. If it's not, then it's disclosed. So it depends at what point in the litigation you're at. At certain points in the litigation, information is kept confidential because it's a negotiated item, or it could be used, you know, against the arguments that we and the strategies that we're making from a legal standpoint. So now that all of those things have concluded, we can share what has been allowed through the court process.
But we still don't know the dollar, so we won't know the true dollar value.
I don't know that we don't know the true dollar. I don't know specifically what you're asking about, because there were a lot of parts to this. There were several lawsuits, and there's different processes for each one. And I would ask that whatever can be disclosed, Pete.
Yeah, I've disclosed what we can disclose. The actual number is under confidentiality agreement.
Okay.
And we don't, and to be honest, Mike, we don't need any more litigation from those folks. We don't need to spend any more money on litigation down in Chicago. That doesn't make any sense for us up here in Oneida.
Right.
So that's why we made the decision. It was a business decision. We
Right.
took it out of the politics and the personal vendettas, and it was a business decision.
Right. And I get all of that, and I really do. But I think the part that strikes a chord with me is, and I've been asking this for the better part of 10 or 12 years, is where are our corporate laws? And I guess that was even brought up this morning in a BC meeting. Where are our corporate laws? So just food for thought.
Okay. The lady in the overflow room, do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I just have a couple questions.
Please state your
Um,
name, please.
My name is Tabitha Thundercloud. I have a couple questions for the attorneys and financial advisors. My first question is, are there any more pending lawsuits against the Seven Generations Corporations right now, currently?
Again, I can answer that. There are no pending against Seven Generations Corporation. However, we have a damage claim against the city of Green Bay. So it's not against us per se, it's us against those folks.